So at TB12, our progression through therapeutic exercises looks like these four categories. So our initial focus is on form first. So after we've eliminated a client's pain through tissue work, we're going to begin to focus on their form, on their muscle engagement, and proper postural recruitment of the right muscles. Then we're going to bring them into that strength training phase. So let's build back the muscle that they may have lost through post-surgery or through that initial acute injury. Let's start strength training again with the base of that form first focus. And through our strength training, we focus on using resistance bands. Next, we're going to progress into speed of sport movements. So this is where we begin to add speed into functional movement patterns to ensure neuromuscular endurance carries over to their required sport. And bringing it all together, we're going to connect the athlete back to their specific sport, to their with the exercise prescription. So if we're working on a baseball player's shoulder, let's carry over all of the resisted strength training exercise that we did for their shoulder back to their pitching. Let's make it sport specific in making sure that they can perform their movement without compensations and being pain free and moving as optimal as possible. So going into that, focusing on form first category. So we're initiating therapeutic exercise with a strong focus on posture, form, and proper muscle engagement. So through injuries, through the negative trauma, there's going to be movement asymmetries and compensations when that athlete comes in that you then have to break down, right? Whether it's an antalgic gait or running style, whether it's their squat and a weight shift, or compensation in their overhead shoulder motion of recruiting the wrong muscles. We need to, now that we've lengthened out that muscle tissue, return that muscle pliability, induce positive trauma so that they are feeling they are pain-free through that movement. Now we're going to eliminate those prior movement asymmetries. We're going to re-engage muscles to be able to perform the right muscle contractions without the compensation in that movement pattern. And with this builds back that mind-body connection. So we eliminated the pain, the pliability with the pliability work. Now through the functional movement patterns of these simple exercises, we're going to build back that mind-body connection to be able to begin to progress them into a strength training routine. So some of the simple exercises that we may look at, depending on if it's upper body, lower body, or core, is just very simple muscle engagement exercises. If it's an upper body, it's going to be looking at double arm rows and scapular retractions for scapular engagement. Are we looking at scapular protraction and being able to control the shoulder blade in that protracted movement? Is it straight arm extensions or overhead flexion? Are they able to upwardly rotate that shoulder blade and downwardly rotate that shoulder blade with the right musculature and not the compensatory movements of, let's say, the upper trap? Then we're going to look at the lower body. A lot of times athletes have a very hard time just engaging their glutes. They do glute ham bridge, and so we want to take away and eliminate that hamstring contraction and make sure that they can fully fire their glute bridge. Same thing with a squat pattern or a lunge. Which muscles are engaging in these movement patterns? Are they quad dominant in their squat and don't actually hinge up through their hips? Are they unable to maintain a neutral spine? Do they weight shift from side to side depending on the affected hip or knee? So there's a lot of these movement patterns that we're looking at. Break down the poor neuromuscular movement pattern and begin to build back the right movements with the right muscles engaged. And then we're going to begin to add resistance bands. So the reason why TB12 focuses on using resistance bands over weights is the resistance bands provide a fluid resistance through full joint range of motion. It allows us to apply resistance in various planes, whether it's challenging them in the sagittal plane or a rotational movement. The resistance bands really allow us to target everything that sports add in.